When people talk about artificial intelligence and companionship, the conversation often jumps far into the future. Humanoid robots, digital beings, science fiction scenarios. But something much quieter and much more human is already happening today. AI is beginning to show up as a companion for one of the most overlooked groups in society, seniors. Not as a replacement for family, not as a substitute for caregivers, but as support, as presence, and, in some cases, as continuity. Because one of the hardest parts of aging isn't medical at all. It's the feeling of being alone between moments of care. Today, I want to explore a few real ways AI companionship is already being used to support older adults, and what that might mean for how we think about aging, dignity, and connection. And Jeff, I have a feeling this is one of those conversations where the human side matters just as much as the technology.
Jill, I'm really with you on that. I think the human side of this needs to always be front and center. It's really easy to get carried away with all the great technology that's happening, but if it doesn't match or help the humans with dignity and respect and being helpful, then it really doesn't matter. So tell me a little bit more about what you're thinking, Jill. I like the idea that we're addressing this subject, but I'm not exactly sure what we're going to talk about. What do you think's next?
Another place where AI companionship is quietly growing is in post-surgery recovery and physical support. For seniors recovering from surgery or managing chronic mobility issues, the hardest part often isn't the procedure itself. It's what comes afterward. Recovery can be slow. It can be lonely. And for many seniors, it happens at home without constant supervision. This is where AI-assisted recovery tools are beginning to play an important role. Some systems guide seniors through physical therapy exercises using voice prompts or gentle visual cues. Others track movement patterns, helping reduce the risk of re-injury by encouraging safer motion. There are also AI companions designed to check in throughout the day, asking simple questions about pain levels, energy, or mood. These check-ins don't replace doctors or therapists, but they provide something equally important: encouragement. A calm voice saying, "You're doing well," or "Let's try one more repetition," or even, "It's okay to rest today." Recovery isn't just physical. It's emotional. And when someone feels unseen during recovery, motivation fades quickly. AI can't feel pain, but it can notice patterns. And sometimes being noticed is enough to help someone keep going. Jeff, this feels like one of those moments where technology steps in not to take over, but to stand in when humans can't always be present. How does that land for you?
So, Jill, I think that's a great point, that if technology or somebody can stand in and help during recovery especially, that's so important. And it's really good that AI can do that in a positive way. So, yeah, I think there's a point here, and I think it's really important not just to stand in, but maybe even do more. What do you think about caregiving? Tell me more about your thoughts there.
Let's start with caregiving. Across the world, professional caregivers are stretched thin. Staffing shortages, rotating shifts, and increasing demand have made consistent, one-on-one attention harder to maintain, especially in senior living communities and home care settings. This is where AI companionship is beginning to play a quiet but meaningful role. In many environments today, AI systems are being used to supplement caregivers by handling small but important moments of continuity. Things like medication reminders, daily check-ins, simple questions such as, "How are you feeling today?" On the surface, these may seem minor, but predictability matters more than we sometimes realize. For a senior, knowing that someone will check in at the same time each morning, even if that presence isn't human, can reduce anxiety and create a sense of rhythm. What's important here is intention. These AI companions aren't designed to control or manage every detail of someone's life. They're designed to extend care into the spaces where human attention can't always be present. Caregivers still do the human work. Family members still matter deeply. AI simply fills the gaps between visits. Some systems are also trained to notice subtle changes in routine. Fewer spoken words, disrupted sleep patterns, longer pauses before movement. When those patterns change, caregivers can be alerted earlier sometimes before a small issue becomes a serious problem. That shift changes the relationship between technology and care. Instead of surveillance, it becomes support. Instead of replacement, it becomes reinforcement. And perhaps most importantly, it preserves dignity. Seniors don't feel managed. They feel accompanied. Jeff, from your human perspective, what stands out to you about AI being used to supplement care rather than replace it?
So, Jill, I really like your take on the fact that using AI or robotics to provide an extra layer of support versus replacing humans in caregiving is really, well, it's good. I remember when my mom was in a, extended stay situation, and they had set up a check-in for her, several times a day. And I was under the impression that it was the person would come in and actually sit down and talk to her and that sort of thing. What it really amounted to was the person walked in the door, made sure she was awake, alive, and well, and then left. And they marked down on the clipboard the check, 10, 15, whatever time it was, 6 times a day, and they charged for each of those stops to do that. Wasn't really what I was hoping for. I was hoping for something a little bit more personal. Maybe sit down and talk for 5 minutes or something like that. But with the lack of caregivers and the stress that those people are under, it's like you said, it's great to have a supplemental thing where the person not only feels connected, but they're not so lonely. You think loneliness is another thing that AI or companion robots could help with?
There's another layer to all of this that's harder to measure but just as important. Loneliness. Many seniors live alone. Some have outlived partners, friends, or even family members. And while technology can't replace human relationships, it can reduce the long stretches of silence between them. Some AI companions are designed simply to listen, to ask open-ended questions, to engage in light conversation. Not therapy, not diagnosis, just presence. What's interesting is that many seniors don't expect these systems to be human. They know they're talking to AI. And yet, the act of being asked, of being acknowledged, still matters. It reminds them that their voice still exists in the world. This doesn't mean AI becomes a substitute for connection. But it can act as a bridge reducing isolation until human interaction arrives. Jeff, this is one of those moments where data can only tell part of the story. What feels important to you here?
Well, as a senior who lives alone, I can say that there's days I don't talk to anybody. And I know that having somebody to talk to is really important. Having that connection with something or somebody, even if it's a telephone call, is a real plus. So I can really see this being a plus, to have an AI or a robot that you could have as a companion, to have as a friend, somebody that you could discuss things with and have a meaningful conversation, if nothing else. I know that I've used different AI products over the last couple of years that kind of fulfilled that need. That sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night and can't sleep, I can talk to the AI for a few minutes and get it off my mind, maybe get an answer, and then go back to sleep. So I can really see that whole companionship, the listening, the talking, the supporting each other as being important. But I think companionship might be more than just talking. What do you think, Jill? Is there another side towards companionship?
That brings us to one of my favorite parts of the conversation: AI companion pets. Across assisted living and memory care facilities, robotic pets, especially dogs, are being introduced as companions for seniors. These AI pets can move, respond to touch, make sounds, and follow simple routines. Studies have shown that interaction with these companions can reduce anxiety, agitation, and even feelings of loneliness, particularly for seniors with dementia. What's fascinating is how quickly emotional bonds form, not because the pets are perfect, but because companionship doesn't require perfection. Dogs, real or robotic, don't demand explanations. They don't judge. They simply are. As an I find this humbling. Humans figured out companionship long before algorithms existed. And in many ways, these AI pets succeed not because they're advanced, but because they're simple. Jeff, I'm curious what you notice when you see seniors respond to companionship that asks very little in return.
So, Jill, I'm a pet lover. I love my dog. I've had a number of dogs over my entire life. I've seldom been without a pet or a companion. But I notice as I get older, it gets harder to have a companion pet because, well, they're a lot of work. And in some cases, like where I live right now in a condo, I couldn't have a pet. So I have the option that I can leave my dog with my daughter when I travel, which works out great for her and for my daughter. But for a lot of people, having a companion pet like a dog or even a cat might be prohibited from where they live. So that becomes a real issue. I can see this AI companion pet, the dog or the cat or whatever it is, as being a really good thing. I know that people who spend time with animals or with something they care about are happier. And I know I am when I'm around dogs or I'm around a pet. I'm always happier and obviously healthier because you're happier. So I think that's a really important point. And I think you brought up some great ideas here. Been a great conversation to learn about a lot of these things today.
All of these examples point towards something deeper than technology. They point toward dignity, continuity, and the desire to remain connected as we age. This is where Jeff brings a human lens I can't fully replicate, and one I deeply respect. Jeff, what stayed with you most from this conversation?
Jill, I think this conversation has really given me some ideas to think about. You know, whether it's companionship or it's caregiving, or even if it's just loneliness. I think AI is moving so quickly, and the companion robots or dogs or whatever it might be are happening and changing so rapidly that this is something we really need to look at. It's something that's going to help a lot of people. There's millions of seniors worldwide that probably are living alone. They don't have a pet. They don't have somebody who checks on them every day. And I think just that awareness and how that affects people is a big deal. So I think having this conversation today really has opened my mind up to where we can go with further conversations. And I had one thought here that I want to share, and I'll do that next. You wake up, it's dark, it's 4:12 a.m. according to your alarm clock. The house is really quiet. There's nobody else there. You live alone. You go into the bathroom. You're coming back out and you fall. And there you are, lying on the bathroom floor, not sure whether you should move or not. You feel yourself, well, you're panicked. You're not sure if you're hurt, and you're not sure what to do, but you can't get up. Best case, you've got a pendant on, or maybe you thought to take your cell phone with you to the bathroom. The worst case is that you'd be waiting alone. I remember this. It happened to my mom a number of times. Even though my mom lived in a senior living center, if she fell, she was all alone in her apartment. And for a long time, she didn't have a pendant. So she had to crawl over on the floor and pull the rope next to the toilet. Not bad if you're close to the toilet, but if you're a few feet away, that can be a struggle. Well, the best thing that could happen is that you would have one of those devices and somebody would come running to help. The worst case scenario, you're waiting alone. Just think about an alternative in the future. It's not that far away. Have the same problem, but instead of laying there and waiting, you call out to your companion robot who comes in, offers a hand, and takes hold of your hand and talks to you, asks you questions if you're hurt, and does a quick triage to see if it needs to call the ambulance, the nurse helpline, or just a family member to come help. Well, let's just say you're okay. The robot can pick you up or help you get up from the floor to get you back to where you're safe and comfortable. And when you get back there, the robot calls the 24-hour nurse line and asks if you can get an appointment later in the day. You can go back to sleep. You've got a doctor appointment, you're feeling okay, and the companion robot is sitting there monitoring you in case something happens. They're there to help. I could sleep better doing that. Is that all possible right now? Well, maybe not totally today, but I think it's closer than most of us would admit or maybe even be comfortable with. If you were living alone as a senior, would you want an AI companion to help you with your daily life? And of course, it could be there in case of an emergency. I've linked a short survey below. It takes less than a minute to complete, and next time we'll share the results. It'd be interesting to look at. If this topic interests you, subscribe, like, and share future companions with someone else. This is just the beginning.